Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So on this channel, I don't really focus as much on price speculation. I'm more focused on the utility of what you can do with crypto, using it for the purposes of debanking. But I think it's going to be really valuable to talk about what some of the narratives are going to be for the upcoming bull cycle. So every 4 years, as you're aware, there's a cycle that takes place because of the event called the halvening. That's where the mining rewards for Bitcoin go down in half, creating a supply shock. And this causes a situation where roughly a year later, Bitcoin goes into a really big bull run. And this is a cycle that's repeated in 2021, 2017, 2013, and we're going to go into this cycle in as little as 5 months from now, or perhaps a little less. And even though this is the main fundamental reason why the price of cryptocurrency is going to go up, it usually comes along with a number of narratives. And these narratives are kind of important because it's like a condensed storyline that the average person is going to pick up, and it'll be their excuse to get into Bitcoin. They're not going to be focused on, say, some of the supply and demand dynamics of Bitcoin, but they're going to focus on some of the stories that are going to come out of mainstream media, and they're going to latch onto them as the main reason as to why they believe the price of crypto is going to go up. And I think that main reason is going to be politics this time around. There's a few others. The SEC has been warming up to crypto with ETH, ETH ETFs just around the corner, and this is definitely a big fundamental thing as well. But I think everyone's focused on politics these days, and the big narrative might be that we will have the very first US president that openly endorses Bitcoin, which is a really big deal. In fact, it's a much bigger deal than anything we've had before. It's much bigger than El Salvador openly embracing Bitcoin. It's much bigger. I think it's maybe one of the biggest news cycles in Bitcoin that we've ever had. Especially the longer you've been around, the bigger this is, because you only had to really be around for 8 years to remember what it was like for cryptocurrency to be a total pariah in the world of finance. But to have it be openly endorsed by a presidential candidate is such a big deal. And it's not just this person's presidential candidate, it's because of recent events he's very likely to win. So let's just get straight into the stories. So I'm reading on CoinDesk right now. Bitcoin retakes 62k as Trump trades back in vogue after weekend attack. So there's a website called, let me get back on screen. There's a website called Polymarket, and it's I guess you could say it's a place where people can essentially gamble on things. It's a futures trading market. Sorry, not futures, it's the wrong word for it. It's basically a place where people can trade on events. They do it on the blockchain, and it kind of works like almost like trading contracts, right? Where the people buy and sell the likelihood of certain events happening, right? So prediction markets, sorry, I forgot the word. So on prediction markets, it's become very popular for people to trade on the outcome of elections. And usually this is done on like sports betting websites. You could bet on Republican versus Democrat, stuff like that. But this has now moved onto crypto. So Polymarkets is a really popular one. And the chances of a Trump presidency went up to 60% on Polymarket, based on the inflows and outflows of certain win and lose contracts. And this was even before the assassination. This is when the debate happened. It already went up to 60%. Then after the assassination, it went up to 70%. Now the reason why I like to focus on these prediction markets as opposed to polls is that I think polls can be easily subverted, because it's kind of like a what would you call it? A self-fulfilling prophecy, where if people want to perhaps influence the outcome of an election, they might pay off the people who run these polls and say, hey, just give Biden a few extra points, right? They're very corruptible, right? But what I like about these prediction markets is you've got a lot of average people betting with their money on the outcome of an election. And of course, if they lose, then they lose money. And there's betting odds as well. So if there's a 70% chance of a Trump win, then if someone puts in if someone puts in 70 cents, they'll only make $1. And if someone puts in 30 cents for Biden, then they'll win $1, right? So people are putting their money where their mouth is. And that's why crypto prediction markets have a lot of value in determining the outcome of future events, particularly when it comes to elections. So a lot of people, the crypto world, are focusing a lot on prediction markets for determining what the outcome of the election should be. So after the attempted assassination of Trump, the potential of him becoming president skyrocketed in the prediction markets. So that's not one thing, right? But the reason why the price of Bitcoin went up to 62K from a recent low was because of the fact that Trump has now officially become a pro-Bitcoin president, which is really it's probably the biggest narrative that's ever happened in all of Bitcoin's history. I mean, if you didn't have to be around for long to remember what it was like for cryptocurrency to be in the stew, in the primordial swamp. No one liked it. Only weed freaks like me liked it, and drug dealers and people that wanted to do illegal things. It was not a long time ago where it had a very bad reputation. So for it to be officially endorsed by presidential candidates who are likely to become presidents is it's wild, and that's going to open the door for a lot of things. A lot of things are going to be maybe regulated or deregulated, but the point is it's going to skyrocket adoption. Even if I don't really think so much about maybe some of the nitty-gritty details that are going to come out of this that will improve adoption, it's just simply the fact that presidential candidate has endorsed cryptocurrency. Now, of course, it's all political, of course, right? It's for points. As is mentioned here, 7% of American adults used or held crypto in 2023, but 28% of Republicans held or had bought crypto at least once, and there's also 52 Americans who own it in general, and it's become part of Trump's re-election strategy. So it's just playing to the audience. People who are Republicans are more libertarian-minded. They're much more likely to own cryptocurrency and use it because it's the freedom currency. GOP's even added crypto to its official platform marketing materials under Champion Innovation subpoint, just above artificial intelligence and expanding freedom, prosperity, safety in space. So it's up there with space and artificial intelligence. This is a really big deal. Now, I think they've already clinched the election, but this is just making sure that all those additional people who own cryptocurrency, that's a reason enough to be a single voter issue. Like, that alone is enough to swing a lot of people who are on the fence about a particular political candidate. A lot of people that might have even been pro-Trump would actually probably happily vote for Biden if Biden became pro-crypto. So Trump was just simply snagged up the opportunity. So what I wanted to point to was the fact that just within a month of a potential assassination and him likely becoming president, he's going to attend a landmark crypto conference in Nashville. Trump's speech at Bitcoin conference will mark a pivotal moment for crypto. His appearance in Nashville, still a go despite injuries sustained in Saturday's shooting, will cement cryptocurrency as a mainstream political topic. So I've never remembered any candidate, serious presidential candidate, talking about crypto and making it a major issue. Now, I don't know what his made Trump change his mind, and I don't think he makes his own opinions about these things. I'm sure he's got advisors that talk about these kinds of things, and they just decided this is a way to get more people to get on the Trump train, I guess. If I was to guess why this happened, next article, CoinDesk, pro-crypto Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is Donald Trump's vice president pick. Now, I heard about J.D. Vance being the likely candidate. There was a number of other ones. I actually thought, maybe there was Vivek or what was the guy from Florida. So I'm not as tuned into this stuff as I should be. oh yeah, sorry, Rubio. But yeah, it looks like JD Vance is actually going to be the one. Trump said that the Ohio senator will be strongly focused on the people he fought for, so brilliantly American workers and farmers. So it turns out he's a very pro-crypto senator, and I think because he snagged the VP spot, maybe he just got in Trump's ear about using Bitcoin to get more people. So this is a really big deal, and I don't want to make this video too long. I think most of you get the point of how big of a deal this is, but I just want to focus on one little thing. I've made a number of videos as to why I'm not always focused on technical analysis. I just think it's kind of a bit of a quagmire. It's something that newbies should really get into. I don't like to use it because I think it's primarily a vehicle for speculation. But so I'm going to make this video for those of you who are already in cryptocurrency, or maybe for those of you who are looking for a time to DCA in. And I want to tell you about an indicator that I've been using very faithfully for a number of years, and these are called hash ribbons. I briefly talked about it in another video of mine. And there's a number of indicators that I've used in the past, but none of them have worked so well as hash ribbons. I don't want to get into the actual technical details about how it works, but what you see down here on this this line at the bottom here, this green line followed by little bits of red, are it's a measurement of hash output by miners. So whenever there's a drop in the mining output, and it breaks a particular moving average, you see this red zone pop appear here, and it'll always come back up over time. But whenever there's a sudden drop in mining power, in the parlance of this indicator, it's called a mining capitulation, and it tends to cause the price to go down, sometimes by a lot, sometimes not by much, as you can see here. But what happens is that when the moving average comes back above that red line, you get a buy signal that appears, and it often precedes a very large face melting bull run. Frequently when this happens, the price never returns to when that buy signal was originally printed. So if I just look back through the history of every time this happens, I'm gonna have to get the log price going so you can see more clearly. So let's look at this one in 2013. Sorry, let me get rid of this one. So let's see, there was a mining capitulation that happened here. Roughly 2 months later, we got a buy signal. Then look what happens. Price skyrockets. It never went back to that price. So by the time there was a buy signal that popped up, it was what, $24? And then look, and then the all-time high became $257. And it never went back to that original price. Then we have a mining capitulation here in December 2014. We see the buy signal pop up, and this predicted the bottom exactly during that bear market cycle. And the buy button was at 224, and look at that, we basically never saw those price levels again. We basically never saw those price levels ever again. That was a buying opportunity of a lifetime. Bitcoin at $224, and then it just keeps on going. The next time you see a buy signal printed on the hash ribbons, the price is $584, and look at that, it just went all the way up. All right, let me get auto here. Auto. And then I think it went up to 2K then. Let's have a look here. 2016, when the buy button was printed, it was around what, $600, and the peak was $20,000. All right, so you get the picture here. And there's only one time it didn't really work out so well, and that was this time in December 2019. And if you remember, then what happened was the COVID crash, which burned all stocks and crypto at that time. So we got a buy signal at 7K, and it actually did go up to 10K, but it eventually fell down to 3K. But then it went up like straight away after that. So basically every single time that we had this mining capitulation, and a buy signal. It was followed by a massive bull run, and there are times where I think it worked better than others. Like this time here, the price definitely went up. This is in mid 2021 when the price went down a lot. As you can see here, when there was a buy signal that printed, it definitely went up by a good amount. It went from 40k to 60k, but then it was preceded by a bear market that lasted for almost 2 years. But the reason why this is a big deal is because, see, we've got a minor capitulation that's happened, and there's a buy signal that's going to pop up at any time. The reason why this is a big deal is because we're only about 4 months away from the primary bull cycle from happening starting 2025. Plus, we've got all this major fundamental news about Trump and crypto. So if Trump wins the presidency, it's going to be enormous for Bitcoin. I expect it to be a crazy bull run. We've also got other news as well. ETH ETFs is coming around the corner as well. I don't know when that's coming, but Bitcoin ETFs, you could see what that did for the price. If there's an ETH ETF, we're going to have an altcoin bull run that's going to be wild. There's going to be a massive speculation frenzy, but these things, of course, are going to create just an overall bull run. I'm not the kind of person that talks about whether or not we're going to 100k, 200k, $1 million. That's not really the point of my channel. I just want to point out in this one video here that the price of crypto is likely to go up beyond anyone's wildest expectations. I don't want to pull a number out of a hat here, but if there was any time to be buying Bitcoin, it's actually right now. And I don't want to make too many videos like this. I just don't want the focus of my channel, but for those of you who are a little bit on the sidelines still, now is not the time to be on the sidelines. I really think now is the time, because you don't want to be FOMOing in 3-4 months from now when Trump has clinched the nomination and the ETH ETFs have happened. You don't want to be FOMOing in next year when the price of crypto is already 100k. So yeah, consider this your final warning. And if you are interested in taking advantage of the potential bull run that we're going to see happen, and you're not too friendly on KYC, use my referral link in the description down below for local coin swap, HODL, BitPapa, BitValve. These are places where you can buy crypto without KYC. And what's good about these exchanges are local coin swap and HODL, they're non-custodial, so they don't store your funds on the exchange themselves. So if anything happens to the exchange, your funds are going to be fine. So make sure to use my referral link in the description down below if you're interested in those, and I'll see you next video.